There we go. So thing number 2, something to learn. We're going to continue on with our project, and I'm just going to show you from kind of how I start. I've got a fancy camera set up here. So I just grabbed a fat quarter and I'm going to lay it out. I didn't press it or anything. We're just going to start with our fat quarter. For some reason, we lost our sound when I went off of there. Well, I don't know what happened. I apologize. I'll leave that open so we continue to have sound. Do you have sound now? Do you have sound now? Do you have sound now? Oh dear, oh me, oh my. Oh, say it. Okay. It's my fancy camera work. I guess can't do that. I apologize. All right. So I laid out my fat quarter. I'll do this all again. I laid out my fat quarter. I cut that at 6.5 inches. You can do anything but 6.5 because I'll show you in a few minutes. So I start out with just a 6.5 inch strip. You guys, when I make things, I like to make a lot at one time. So I will usually cut a lot of pieces, and it's just the way that I work. I like to make a lot. So I have my 6.5 inch strip, but I'm also going to make sure I save plenty of this for the brim of the hat. And I'll show you that in just 1 second. So then Angela says a split screen is good. Okay. Oh, Linda, I'm sorry. Okay, the sound should be working now. So now I'm going to go in with my 6.5, with my 60-degree triangle ruler. Kathy says, what are you making? Kathy Kitchen says, what are you making? We are making triangle witch hat blocks, such like this. So that's kind of just a little teaser, but I'm going to show you more as we get going, okay? So I have my 60-degree ruler here. I'm just going to line it up there, and I'm just going to cut a triangle to get started. And I can flip it around. Dolores says, did you write it up? I'm working on it. We'll have that for you next week. So we are working on our a good pattern for you. We'll have it for you next week. I'll tell you why I don't have patterns and things, because I just don't follow patterns. I just make up things as I go along. That's just kind of how I've always done things. So we're working on getting you a good pattern though for you, okay? So again, this was cut at 6.5. 6.5 from which side? Oh, I did the short edge. So I got 3 out of that short edge. Does that make sense? You could do the long edge too, it doesn't matter, but I just did the short edge so I could get, like I said, I want to save plenty of this one so I can have a brim for my hat, but we'll get there, okay? So then I have my 6.5 inch triangles there. going to set those aside. Then I'm going to take my fabric, so my background fabric, I'm going to lay that down, and I'm just going to lay this down on top of here. So pretty sides together. And I'm going to stitch along this line right here. Okay? I'm leaving plenty of room. I need a good pointer, you guys. Here's a pointer. I'm leaving plenty of room here, and you about need like 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches here, and 1.5 inches here, so that when I fold that back, that line will keep extending, right? So I need to make sure I have plenty of fabric here. Oh, Debbie. Debbie says he is a guy. Guys don't do directions. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I like that. I like that. Diane says, how wide is your background fabric? So this fabric here is 2 inches. Nope, it's 1.5 inches. I lied. I apologize. That's about 1.5 inches. I'll show you why I'm doing that one right now. So I feel like I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So here's something that I did just this morning, right? So I have my triangle, my background fabric. This one here is 2 inches, I believe. Now again, Betty Jo, I'm just doing these things because I like to do scrappy. I like to do random. And there's 2 right there. So first I laid down, and you can see about how far that is. That's about, well, yeah, that's about 1 inch of overage to get that there, right that way. Ah, Marianne, you know what? I love people like you that are totally always thinking. You can use the ruler to see how far out the angle goes. Tina said, what are you sewing? We are doing a witch's hat block like this one. And we're going to make it into a table runner. So we're going to do 12.5 inches this way. Finished. 12 inches finished. 12.5 inches before we start sewing together, right? So, all right. So back to the beginning a little bit. So first I have this triangle here, right? I added this strip on. Then I took my next strip. I was going to use this same strip. Linda says just go with it. Yeah, we're just kind of going with it. I'm just a go with it kind of person. I'm going to lay this strip down, and then I'm going to lay this strip on top of it, and I'm going to sew that. I'm going to sew it really quick here. I have strips anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5. I don't love the finished of the 2.5 just because it looks kind of wide, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I have this is the Stitch 510 from Handy Quilter, great straight stitch machine. You guys, if you don't have a straight stitch machine, oh man, you should get one. I love this machine. Just super fast. If you're just doing straight piecing, so great. So I stitched that one on there like that. Then I'm going to fold it back, and I've got that angle like that, right? So I'm just going to press this really quick. Kathy says, I'd like to see the finished project before I start. Well, I do too, but we'll show you in a second. So I'm just going to press this really quick. I like to be varied, Barb. So Barb says, so will our strips be varied in width or we pick one width? I'm personally right now I'm just doing varied. So just because again I like kind of scrappy and you guys, I sent myself pictures and I forgot to put them on here, so I apologize. Okay, so now we have, I just added that strip there, right? Cute, right? So then I'm going to trim off the excess of the background. And I love having the ruler so you can keep it nice and even every time. Okay, so I'm trimming off that one, trimming off that one. Now I have the beginnings of a hat. So Betty Jo says, I'm assuming the background strips are different colors. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we have something different to kind of offset that hat and make it look hat-like, right? This one, I added this little black and gray strip there on the bottom. I kind of don't love it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like those colors together? I was trying to use this fabric because we really love it. It's super hot, but I don't know. So I stitched. So say I had these two, right? Then I just added one along the bottom. Marianne says it's kind of like paper piecing without the paper. Oh, I guess. I don't know. Is that how people paper piece? Also, I don't paper piece, right? So there's that. Oops. So I'm trimming off this one. So now we have the beginnings of a hat, right? Then I can take that and just add another strip. So this one, I just added this bigger strip. So this strip here that's 2 inches. So I just kind of like, I don't know if I like this. I kind of feel like I like the look of the thinner ones better. I don't know. What do you think? I'll show you the ones that we have so far. I got a lot of parts and pieces. Okay. So these are ones I have so far. And I was thinking of about 10. Again, you could make as many as you want. This is for like a kind of a table runner. Betty Jo says, what is our finished triangle size? So the finished will be 11 and a half because this ruler is exactly 12. So yeah, this ruler is 12. So we want to do like 11 and a half. Janine says, I like thinner better. I kind of do too. So I'll bring in another one that has the thinner just to kind of show you what they look like. What that looks like together. Chrissy says, I like the thinner. They don't overpower the hat. Exactly. And I think when you add in, again, I was kind of messing around this morning. I wanted to show how you could go all the way just to make a square. So if you wanted to keep going on this, you could just keep adding. Let's show this one really quick. I could just keep adding low volume. That one won't fit, obviously, but keep adding strips and to make it square. And then you could put the squares together as like in a quilt. I'm going to do that for in 2 weeks. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that. Okay. All right. So back to this one. I have this is my kind of cute feature hat. Flora says, if they're all to appear as hats, I like the dark black. Yeah, I do too, but I kind of wanted like just a little bit of variation, you know? I was thinking like if my mom made a hat, what would she make? My mom was super sassy. So she would definitely have like, I don't know, pinstripes or polka dots. No, she would have houndstooth. My mom was definitely a houndstooth girl. This one here. So I was doing this one, doing it this way so that the hats went every other way. Jennifer says, I just got here. Will there be a pattern? Yes, there will. We're working on it right now. We'll have it ready for you next week, I think. We'll hope. So there will be a pattern. I'm just going to fill this table space with the ones that I've kind of put together so far. So I'm going to turn off my camera. Just so you won't have microphone for a couple of seconds. Just so you can see the whole thing spread out. Okay? All right. Oh, Donna, I love that. You can put 6 together and make a hexagonal table center. So let's try out what that looks like. So I have like so. This one isn't quite 12 inches yet. Like so. Like so. Ooh. What do you think about that? Let me get it more centered. That is so cute. Okay, I have to do one of those too. Definitely. If you do the same upside down, you have a table topper. Yep. Marianne says that's my favorite so far. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to show you one other thing that I did. So this was really to show you my Arlene says much cuter. Okay. I'll take that feedback. That is pretty cute. And you can put a little border on there. So if you wanted to extend this, so let's just say this one right here. If you wanted to unify them all, then you could add, a black, just add a black border along the bottom. And then that would have that black all the way around, right? Okay. Now, we talked about why 2.5. So this is a cute idea on if you had a jelly roll. So we had that jelly roll on the special last week. So if you had a jelly roll, you could piece them together. So I pieced this one together with this cat eye in the middle. And then I did this one. So that's kind of that's how the hat I made for that one. I thought that was pretty cute. I did talk about making a candy corn. So I was going to just stitch that. Well, I lost my candy corn fabric. I guess I won't be stitching that. Oh, man. Oh, here it is. I found it. Donna says, I have 2 outdoor tables we use on Halloween to hand out candy. That'd be perfect, right? So I grabbed these fabrics just now. I'll turn this back on really quick. So if we wanted to do a candy corn, doesn't that kind of look candy cornish? Candy corny? Doesn't that look candy corny? You guys, I'm corny. So if you want to do a candy corn to offset on your, if you want to do a table runner, oh, Tina says use glow in the dark. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And you could quilt it with glow in the dark thread as well. Okay, I'm not used to cutting on camera, so there we go. All right, so I have my strips. I just cut the end off of them so we don't have to sew so much. Pretty sides together. Oh, she said put the yellow on the bottom. I don't know how these things go. Okay, I'm going to do orange, yellow, and white for a candy corn. White, yellow, orange. Okay, Donna says white, yellow, orange. Perfect. That's what I'm doing. All right, I got those sewn. Now I have cute strip there. I'm just gonna press it really quick. So there we have candy corn, right? Oh dear, the picture I have is orange in the middle. Tina says you can embroider spiders with glow. Ooh, no more UFOs, Tina. We don't need any more UFOs. These are all finished things. My girlfriends, I like my candy corn with any color on top, middle, or bottom. That's right. Brock's candy corn is white, orange, yellow. Oh, dang it. Oh, well. You guys get the idea. It's Kathy says it's GMO. You modified it, Kathy. Okay, so I have my strip. I've lined it up. That's about 6.5. There you go. Now, after that, I could, again, just using my of course I didn't bring everything over. Sheesh. Then I can just add my background strip around that candy corn and mix it. I think it'd be cute to do that, like, opposite the witch hat, right? So something like that. Wouldn't that be cute? All right. Working on a pattern, working on a pattern, working on a pattern.